My name is Greg Watson. I'm the Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources. And on behalf of the governor, who's going to be here very shortly, but I do want to advance to welcome everyone here for this celebration. And I'll save some of my remarks about the agricultural governor and all that Deval Patrick has done for agriculture until he gets here. I'd like to do a little pat on the back while he's here. So, but I'm going to reserve that. But let me begin with some statements from the Food and Agricultural Organization in their 2004. Oh, here he is. Let's welcome. So now let me go back to my comments praising the governor for his leadership, and I do mean this. No, I'm very serious. Under the leadership of Governor Deval Patrick, Massachusetts agriculture has absolutely flourished. And I'd like to thank him personally for being what the magazine Berkshire Edibles calls the agricultural governor. And you truly have been the agricultural governor here in Massachusetts. So thank you. And more importantly, thank you for providing me with a second opportunity to serve this really wonderful community of food and agriculture community in Massachusetts. So having said that, let me just begin by saying that, again, according to the Food and Agriculture Organization State of Food and Agriculture 2014, more than 500 million family farms manage the majority of the world's agricultural land and produce most of the world's food. We need family farms to ensure global food security, to care for and protect the natural environment, and to end poverty, undernourishment, and malnutrition. These goals can be thoroughly achieved if public policies support family farms to become more productive and sustainable. In other words, policies that support family farms to innovate within a system that recognizes their diversity, their complexity, and the challenges faced. Massachusetts agriculture and family farms are synonymous. They're one and the same. And many family farms, as you know, here in Massachusetts, have been in continuous operation for more than a century, more than 100 years. We should be going to them and asking, what are you doing right? What can we learn from you? Because they've been doing that sustainably, in many cases, for centuries. And while steeped in tradition, Massachusetts has also been a leader in agricultural innovation. In fact, our real strength comes from our ability, actually more than that, our willingness to integrate old and new, traditional and innovative. Our agricultural preservation restriction program, designed to keep our best soils growing food in perpetuity, was the first such program in the nation, and is still the best. We were among the first states to demonstrate the synergistic benefits of establishing direct marketing options like farmers markets to bring together consumers and farmers. Back in 1979, I helped organize the first farmers markets in Dorchester and South End, and there were 20 farmers markets statewide throughout the state back in 1979. And now, thanks to the governor and others, there's over 250 farmers markets in Massachusetts. As you probably know, according to the 2012 agricultural census, Massachusetts was one of a handful of states that bucked the trend. Most of the states in the country saw a downturn or decline in farmland acreage and farms since the last agricultural census in 2007. Massachusetts saw an uptake 1% in both those areas, one of the few. So it's Massachusetts growing and growing. We're a national leader in agritourism, and we are innovative in other ways. The Berkshires, I don't know if you know this, was home to one of the first, and I think it's the first, but we'll say one of the first community-supported agricultural operations in the country, in the inline farm. And right, one of the first. Our network, overall network, and we lead the country, by the way, in the percentage of farms that host CSAs in the country. So we're number one in the percentage of farms in hosting CSAs. Our network of buy locals. Have shown that the idea supporting our local farms, eating local, eating healthy, can be a catalyst for community building. It's gone beyond just supporting farms. That's really been the way, it's been a seed for doing that. And one region, very close to the governor, has actually developed its own local currency. I don't know if you know this, it's a little known secret. The Berkshire, Great Barrington, it's a local currency called the Berkshires. And it's actually become one of the most popular local currencies in the world. They've actually been visited by folks from Denmark and the European Union to take a look at this unique model. And I have one of their first notes, which I got back in about 1979. Back then they were called Berkshire Farm Preserve Notes. Again, based on the fact that real wealth is both human and natural capital. And so they based these dollars on that. And that first Berkshire Farm Preserve Note had the quote, "In farms we trust." And we still do that now. All right, the Boston Public Market. One of the first, will be the first of this kind of market that will source all of its food and food products from local farms. This is a first. So you've got other public markets in Washington and Washington State and my hometown of Cleveland, but we are going to demonstrate that these types of year-round permanent markets can be supported and thrive as part of our strategy to support locally grown food and locally produced food products. And again, this is, an initiative that the governor has, through the Food Policy Council, and just his love of agriculture, has helped support through his 2 terms. Massachusetts also responds to the public's concerns about food quality and food safety through innovation. We created the Commonwealth Quality Program, which is a program that identifies farmers who are using sound, best management practices and to grow their food and bring a sense of comfort to both to the consumers, but also recognized by the retailers and supermarkets as a sound way to ensure food quality and food safety. So let me just end, Massachusetts also continues to lead in what I'm going to call the extended family farm. That's a new term, I don't know what it means, but anyway, we've got to start thinking about the extended family farm. Commonwealth's changing demographic and economic landscape has created the need and the opportunity to extend the notion of family farms, both generationally and geographically. For today's new entry farmer still may be the son or daughter of a rural Massachusetts farm family, but they may just as likely be a college grad from Cambridge, a middle-aged career changer in Lowell, a Burundi refugee, mom living in Worcester and raising vegetables at the Flats Mentor Farm in Lancaster, or a pioneer urban farmer in Dorchester. That's what we celebrate on Food Day. The old, the new, the traditional, the innovative, our incredible diversity that transcends space and times, sustains us, and makes us whole. Thank you. To introduce Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs, and I know her name, but I stopped up here. I get passionate. May Dally Bartlett, who is my boss, and I may not be her employee after this, to welcome her up here to the podium. Thank you.
That it was Greg, who I've known for 25 years, and he just was stumbling over the married name. Good morning, and thank you so much for having me here today. On the 4th annual Food Day celebration in Massachusetts, I want to applaud the teams at the Department of Agricultural Resources and the Department of Public Health for their extensive promotion and outreach for the events surrounding today. I want to give a special nod to our friends at MAPC, who have also been incredible partners with all of us. This is such a worthy cause. So now in its 4th year, Food Day has been a successful tool for bringing people together to talk and understand about food quality and access and sustainability across the nation and obviously here in Massachusetts. It is such a pleasure for me to introduce our next guest. Under Governor Patrick's leadership, the administration has worked to bring fresh, healthy food options to urban areas through exciting projects like the Boston Public Market that Greg mentioned. This project is a cornerstone of the governor's urban agricultural agenda. The Patrick administration, though, has also been a friend and advocate for farmers all across the Commonwealth. Over the last 8 years, the Patrick administration has supported training, farm development, and one of our near and dear projects, the on-farm energy sustainability projects. Because without farming, our families and residents lose crucial access to healthy local options. Please welcome a self-declared foodie and my boss, Governor DeVos.
I'm delighted to be here to celebrate Food Day with you and what Food Day represents, what you represent, and those in the agricultural and food community, the movement toward healthy, affordable, and sustainable food. Food Day is about engaging communities to bring people together to share abilities, time, resources, ideas. By working across state government and partnering with nonprofits and private sector, we can work to promote healthy, sustainable, and affordable food systems in the Commonwealth, and the Commissioner gave you some examples of how that is precisely what has been happening. Led by the MAPC, the Massachusetts Food System Plan is an ongoing statewide initiative to support increased consumption of Massachusetts agriculture while preserving water and land resources, to support a strong, robust food system where local and healthy foods are accessible to all residents, jobs and business opportunities abound. So again, in that spirit, I want to recognize Mark and his team at the MAPC for all of the work that they do on this initiative. It's an important one. And I urge everyone to weigh in on what's happening in their local food system. In fact, learn about their local food system. Frankly, it's astonishing how little we know about our food system. And also quite remarkable how easy it is to grow your own food and access local food, which is delicious and fantastic and tastes unlike anything you thought such a thing tasted like when you grew up with my mother on the south side of Chicago. I didn't know peas were green until I got here. Knowing what is being done and done well, what the challenges are, and what your suggestions are to improve our food system is critical to our shared work. And I thank you for doing it and encourage you to keep it up. So it's in that spirit that I proclaim today Food Day in Massachusetts. And I have a lot of thank you. I'd like to thank our standing commissioners.
Go.